Okay, to recap, what we discussed. So in our previous class, so we are discussing about the SAP SPS upgrade, right? Using the sum tool we are discussing, right? So which sum tool we are using means we know the difference between the sum 1.0 and the sum 2.0 versions, right? So we have generated as part of the preparation steps, we have generated the as part of the preparation, which means as part of the pre-upgrade activities, we have generated the XML file, space, update records, all these things we have so discussed, and we have generated the stack.xml file. This is the key file for the stack.xml file. Then we have started the sum tool. Then we started providing the inputs, right? Then when you started the sum tool, so we have the scenario selection, right? We need shadow system or without shadow system, and also we discussed about the what is the use of the shadow system as well. So now today, so and after that, so we continued with the some of the roadmap steps, right? That is called the some steps, some roadmap steps. One is called the extraction, right? Extraction, configuration. So then configuration, extraction, so configuration, check space. Then we have fourth one is called the pre-processing. Then first one is called the execution. Then sixth one is called the post-processing. Okay, post-processing steps. Post-processing steps. So these are the 6 roadmap steps in the. So we have the sum tool, right? So we have progressed the extraction, and yesterday we have progressed to the configuration. We have discussed about the steps and checks. So in the checks phase, we know what will happen in the extraction phase and the configuration phase. And we already discussed, we are now we know, if you don't check, if you don't perform the pre-checks correctly, so the issues will detect in the checks phase. In the checks phase, it will check the free space, at OS level and DB level free space it will check, and also it will check the if any failed update records. So, and also if any if any queues got stuck, then the check phase it will detect it. Same as like in our execution itself, we can see extraction we completed, configuration we completed, but in the checks phase, so checks phase the error got detected saying that you don't have the much space at database level. You don't have the much space at database level. So increase the disk space in the database level, not the SAP level. Yesterday I thought it's the SAP level, then I deleted the all the softwares and everything I deleted. But you can see we have the 300 GB free space is there. Even though still it is getting error, but after clearly reading the error message, see the at database level, not the SAP level. So database level. So the required additional space is so 30 GB, but but we don't have that much of space at database level, that we need to increase it. Our database is the HANA, and that is posted on the Linux. So Linux, for extending the file system in the Linux is very difficult. Difficult means we can do that one. It's required some downtime. We need to stop the HANA database, and the Linux we need to stop it, and we need to do some partitioning on the Linux system. So this we have to perform it. So but in the Linux systems, so all our SAP systems are running, right? Our ECP, our ECP production server, and our NWD development training, all these three databases are running on the one Linux server. So that's the reason I have not stopped. Yesterday, few people are practicing. So users are practicing. Users are logging in, they are doing their work and everything. So that's the reason I have not stopped the Linux partitioning. Because we need to carefully plan our activities as a business consultant. When you are doing any activity, you need to carefully plan your activities. right? So that's the main aim for basis team. So immediately if error comes, immediately go and stop that one. So if the that activity, the error message require the downtime, then you need to carefully plan that activity. Why? Because when you stop it, now users are logged into the system, they will kick it out from the system. Then immediately they will raise their tickets. So that's the reason we need to carefully plan that activities, right? So that is the text phase. So the first three phases, nothing is there. Just extracting the softwares, scanning the softwares, then it will go to the configuration phase. In the configuration phase, already yesterday we discussed about the missing node implementations, configuration of the parameters, uptime, how many parameters, downtime, how many parameters we required. All these things yesterday we discussed it, right? In the checks phase, it will check the freeze phase, any inconsistencies, everything it will check it out. The main work starts. Then when you click on the next button, it will go to the pre-processing. It will go to the pre-processing. The main work starts from here. The main work starts from the pre-processing and the execution phase. These two steps are the very important steps, right? So what exactly happens in the pre-processing and execution phase? Okay, today we'll complete some upgrade as well. Okay, so what exactly happens in the pre-processing? Okay, let me take one diagram here to understand the concept here. Okay. Any questions till now regarding the SAP upgrade? What we discussed in the yesterday and the day before yesterday, and so till now, any questions from anyone? So meanwhile, so you can ask me questions. I will draw one diagram which can be so helpful to you. Okay. So this is our SAP system, right? This is our SAP system. So this is our DB, right? DB is in the Linux. Okay, this is our database. Okay, this is our SAP. So maybe I can say here, so original SAP system, original our SAP system, original. Maybe I will take it like original or ECP production system, right? Then I can say here in the database level we have the repository, right? Database level, what will be there in the database level? We have the repository and application tables, right? Repository, this is called the, maybe this is also original repository, and we have the application tables. We have the application tables in the database level, application tables. Okay, application tables, application tables, original repository and application tables. So this is current scenario. It will connect to the database, and this is the SAP. Maybe I will like it here. This is the SAP. This is our database. So this is our current landscape, current scenario, right? Current landscape and the current scenario. Here, one fine day, you want to upgrade your system. One fine day, you want to plan to upgrade your system using the sum tool. So in this case, you downloaded the XML file. All files you placed at the so operating system level. Even sum tool also you placed at the so operating system level. Sum tool, this is the sum tool. Okay, sum tool under the USR SAP SID you extracted, you placed into the here, right? This is the sum tool. Then here, then sum tool required the host agent, right? Host agent, maybe you can call it as the host agent, right? So host agent also it's required OS level. So sum tool, so then you started the sum tool direct, it will go and attach here. Sum tool will talk to the host agent first, right? Why? Because the command which you are using the SAP, what is the command we are using to start the sum tool?
Sum start .get host config.
Config host agent space SID. Okay, when you are explaining to the interviewer or some other person, you need to clearly mention the command. Okay, so sum start .bat or .sh or space config host agent space SID. Then the sum tool will register into the host agent. Sum tool will not directly talk to the SAP system, your ECP system. Through via host agent, it will connect to the your your SAP system. So you are not getting the sum screen. Suppose issues like if you are not getting this type of sum screen, if you are not getting this one, which means your host agent is not working as expected, maybe some issues with the host agent. So then you need to check the host agent logs and everything. Suppose it's a Windows, the host agent logs are available under so USR program files, host control, work directory. Then here you have the logs, host control, work directory. You can check the host agent logs, host agent logs. You can check what is happening with my host agent. So all these things, the errors will be displayed here. Errors will be displayed in the systems. Okay, this you need to check in the system in case your host agent is not responding, or if you are not getting this screen. The initial screen, you started the sum tool using the sum start.bat. So then, so suppose sometimes the people will start with the different user. So here in the Windows, you need to start with the administrator user, and the Linux, you need to start with the root user. It's a very important. Okay. In the Windows, you need to open the command prompt in the administrator mode. Then you need to start it. But Linux, you need to start in the root user. Then only, because this host agent will run only on the administrator or root user. So that, so you have to, when you click on the start button, then it will go talk to the here, but this is on the root user. So then you need to start with the sum tool via root user only. Then it will attach to the your original SAP system. Your original SAP system, it will attach to the original SAP system. Okay, you started the sum tool. During the scenario selection, you have chosen you need shadow system, right? You need, during the scenario selection, before coming to the some roadmap steps, we have the 3 scenario selections. So what are those scenario selections?
Single system,
Scenarios.
standard,
Yes, single. Okay, single system. Yeah, standard and advanced. Advanced means near zero downtime. Advanced means it's like n near zero downtime maintenance, which means zero, near to zero. The downtime is near to zero. Single means there is no shadow system concept. Longer downtime will happen. Standard means yes, there is a shadow system with minimum standard resources are applicable. Then advanced means here more resources, the downtime will be minimized in the advanced mode. So this depends upon the your system usage, whether you want to minimize the downtime, then you can choose this one, or if you want to standard downtime, you can choose the standard one. So depends upon your downtime, you can choose the whatever you want, you can choose it. Okay, that is the plan here. So if it is there is no business usage, then you can choose the single system. Okay, if you have the space issues or something, then you can use the single system. If you have everything is okay, space is okay, everything is okay, then you can choose the standard option, you can choose it. Okay, so and the advanced, if you have the more space, resources, CPU, memory, everything is okay, then you can choose the NZDM, which means near zero downtime maintenance option. So we have chosen, in our case, we have chosen the standard we have chosen. Then, so in the extraction phase we completed. In the extraction phase, nothing like it will extract, it will scan our download directory. So then download directory means we have the softwares you placed into the, so here E drive and the upgrade folder. It will scan all the download directories, all the patches, it will scan it. It will extract all the things, and it will place into the under USR SAP trans. Under the trans, it will scan, it will extract the files, it will keep into the USR SAP trans EN. It will keep all the files into the here. Here, these all are the files related to the our packages only. It will extract, it will keep the files into the here. Total 292 patches we are updating, 292 files it is extracted, keep into the under the USR SAP trans. That is what in the extraction phase it will do. The configuration phase. So since you are choosing the scenario like standard, so the minimum resources, minimum configuration of the parameters like uptime, how many parameters, downtime, how many parameters, then like that. So we have discussed yesterday the rule, thumb rule, SAP thumb rule. So it depends upon the physical CPUs, how many process we have to choose it, right? Same thing we have to choose in the configuration phase. So, and also if you have any transports, any SPDD, SPU transports, ETSP transports, so all these things we have chosen, we have completed the configuration, then nodes, missing nodes, all these things we have applied in the configuration. So few people, they may ask you, in which phase we have to apply the missing nodes? Which phase we have to apply the missing nodes?
Configuration.
Configuration.
Yes. In that configuration phase, we have to apply the all the missing nodes and everything. So okay, so then after that it will go to the checks phase. It will check the some inconsistencies, free checks and everything. This will be fast. Nothing is there here in the checks phase. If any space issues, it will detect the issues like this space issue you have in the database level like that. It will detect the issues. Okay, this will happen in the system. Okay, then after that what will happen? Then when you click on the next button, then it will go to the pre-processing. Once then there is no space issues, then it will go to the pre-processing step here. So but if your still issue is there, it will say same, you have the database issue is there, something like that, it will detect the issues, right? So then when it is go to the pre-processing, when it is going to the pre-processing, what exactly happens here? So what exactly happens in the pre-process? So here, this concept is very important here. In the pre-processing, step, so your shadow will be created. So why? Because in the pre-processing, similar to your original system here, your shadow system will be created in the same SID. Same SID is the same, but different instance number. Here your shadow will be created here, shadow system will be created here. So in the pre-processing step, so in the pre here, clearly listen here, in the shadow ECP will be created here. Shadow file system will be prepared, exe directory, shadow instance created, then shadow repository will be created here, database level, shadow repository. Maybe I will like it. So such a shadow repository will be created. Shadow repository will be created, right? So shadow repository will be created. Sir, why we have shadow system concept in the SAP means yesterday we discussed it. So to avoid all the updates directly into the your original SAP system, if something goes wrong, so there is some longer downtime. If you don't have the shadow system, what will happen? So some will start upgrading everything in our main system, the black color. So everything will update into the main core system, and it will affect to the users transactions as well. So to avoid this type of slowness, or to avoid this type of downtime, more downtime activity, what some will do, SAP introduced the shadow system concept. The shadow system concept. As part of the shadow system concept, shadow will be started as part of the scenario during the pre-processing step. During the pre-processing step, the shadow system will be created. Shadow will be created. Shadow means same copy of the your original system. Suppose same copy of the Ravi, it will be created. So all the upgrades, all the patches, all the renovate, everything will happen in the shadow system. But in meanwhile, main Ravi is up, main system is up, the users can log into the system, they can do the transactions, right? There is no impact on the system, but your shadow system is creating. to create the shadow system, it's required the some space, some memory, it's required, right? That is what it's checked in the database level, and it's thrown the error message to us as well, as per our scenario. So shadow will be created in the here in the pre-processing step. Okay, this will be created in the pre-processing step. Clear till now? Any confusion from anyone? Okay, so I will take it no, then I will continue. So here in the pre-processing step, repository shadow system means in the database level, shadow repository will be created and a shadow system will be built. But system is created, repository is created, but with empty data, right? Empty. But we need data from the main system. Why? Because shadow should upgrade first, right? Shadow should upgrade first. But if you want to upgrade the shadow, the data should be required, right? So then some tool will lock, the your development workbench, your development repository, it will lock it. It will lock it. Why? Because some tool will copy the data from the your original repository to and shadow repository. Original repository to shadow repository, it will copy the data. While copying, it will lock the your development system. So we will get the one prompt like please log the development workbench, development system, log the so development workbench. Like that we will get the message in the system. You need to lock it. Then once you lock it in the pre-processing phase, some tool will copy the data. So when shadow system is built, then immediately some tool will point to the your shadow system. Some tool will point to the your shadow system. Okay, some tool up to that phase it will work on the your original. Then up to some time, then some tool will point to the shadow system. It will start upgrading the, it will start copying the data from your original repository to your main repository, sorry, shadow repository. So because initially shadow repository is empty, but it needs the data. Why? Because to upgrade same to same. Why we called as the shadow? Shadow means with the same copy, same structure, same objects, same data, same to same, everything will be same. That we will call it as the shadow, right? Ravi shadow means same to same, same structure, same weight, same color, so everything is should be same. Then only we will call it as the shadow, right? Same here also we have the shadow concept here. So here also, whatever the data is there here, all the data will be copied to the word here. Whatever the version of the kernel here, everything will be copied to the here, right? So same thing will happen here. It will copy the data from original repository to shadow repository. While copying the data, we will get the prompt like lock the development workbench. Then it will lock it. It will start copying the data from here to here. While copying, definitely whatever the space is there, this much of space is required here. That's the reason during the checks phase, some tool will tell like you need this much of free space at database level. Why? Because the shadow repository is creating at the database level. So that's why now we got the clarity. So why increase the disk space in the database host system only, not the SAP level? So SAP level, to create the SAP, we have lot of 300 GB free space is there. That is very enough. But database level, we don't have much space here, database level. So database level, so we don't have much space in the database level. So we have only 17 GB is there. So that is the reason. So it's thrown the error message. 17 GB is not enough. That is the reason it's thrown the error message. So why it's thrown the error message unnecessarily means it's not unnecessarily. It's there is a necessity. So to create the shadow repository, then it will start creating the shadow repository. Then shadow system will be started in the so pre-processing phase, and shadow will be upgraded in the pre-processing phase. All the patches whatever we have, everything will be upgraded in this red entry. Red entry means shadow. In this shadow, it will be upgraded. So first of all, shadow instance created. Shadow repository will be created. Log the development workbench. Then shadow will be upgraded. Shadow will be upgraded in the system. Shadow will be upgraded. There is some phases. Shadow underscore import, ACT underscore UPG. So upgraded. Then objects will be activated. There is a long running steps in the sum tool. This all will be happened in the in the shadow system. So the main aim of here the pre-processing is shadow is upgraded. All the patches will be updated into the shadow system. Then once done in the phase, once done end of the pre-processing, we will get the SPDD adjustments. SPDD means data dictionary objects. Data dictionary objects. So those objects we have to change it. Here we need help from developer to perform the adjustments. So we have to, in this step, we have to inform to the developer. They will log in. They will do the adjustments in the shadow system. They will record the changes into the in the one transport. Then we can once he perform, then we can continue the execution step. So this will happen in the pre-processing step. So what happens in the pre-processing? In the pre-processing step, shadow instance will be created. Shadow repository will be created. Then original repository to shadow repository data will be copied. Shadow will be started. Shadow will be upgraded up to the latest versions. The shadow will be upgraded here, right? Up to shadow will be upgraded in this pre-processing phase. Once shadow is upgraded, then here the last step in the end of the pre-processing. Last step in the end of the pre-processing means in the pre-processing ending, we will get the step like please perform the SPDD adjustments in the system. Here you need to ask your developer to log in with 000 client. Why? Because they have to log into the shadow system. Shadow, it is available only 000 client. You have to create the one user, then either DDIC or one user you have to create it. Then the user will log into your shadow system. He will perform the SPDD. He will record the changes into one TR in TR, so that in the next system we can import those TRs. Then that time, so developer does not require that time. Okay, first system you need developer to perform the SPDD adjustments. Okay, then record the changes into the TR. That's done. Once he done that adjustments, why? Because what he will do as part of the adjustments means the developer knows. So the developer can decide. So whether the new program as part of the upgrade, you have the new programs, new enhancements, new changes will happen. Whether he need that one or he need to reset that program. So he can decide it. Why? Because he is the developer. He knows whether that program is required or not, the new enhancement is required or not. He can decide that web page, new page is required as part of the upgrade. Many things will happen, right? He can decide it, developer. We can only do the technical upgrade, but to actual decide, the developer can perform it. Then he can log into the shadow system. Then he can do the adjustments in the SPDD transaction code. He will do the adjustments. Okay. So here you may get the questions like SPDD. In where you have to perform the SPDD in which phase? In the pre-processing, you have to perform the SPDD adjustments from the 000 client. You have to perform it. Okay, so that is the questions definitely they may ask you during the interview point of time. So where you have to create, where you will get the SPDD, SPAU steps. SPDD we will get from the shadow system. What is mean by shadow system? So when the develop repository will be locked, when the develop in the pre-processing phase, your original repository will be locked, then data will start copying to the here. Sir, why there is a lock? Why we should lock the development repository? If you don't lock it, When the data is copying from one program is copying from here to here, then after that one developer log into your main system. If he did the changes here one version of the program here already old version of the program here, then both are inconsistency. Then in this case upgrade will not happen. Upgrade, there is no use of the upgrade. Why? Because here you have the one version of the object, here one more version of the object, lower version of the object, both are not inconsistency. So then what is the point of doing the upgrade here, shadow repository? So that's the reason. So when data is copying from the this repository to main original repository to shadow repository, then your original will be logged. So which means no one cannot do any program changes, any development activities, any code related activities in the main system. Only transactions can happen. So that, but developments will be stopped here. Development will be stopped here in the original repository. So that we have to plan carefully in the phase itself. So when the developers not available that time, so we can ask them. Then we can, if they are okay, we can lock the development workbench. Then we can proceed to move the data from. So some tool will move the data. You don't need to do anything. Some tool will perform all these steps. Okay, it will copy to the shadow repository. Then your main shadow will be upgraded. Shadow will be started. Then the last step of the pre-processing is SPDD adjustments will be performed by your development team. They will do the adjustments. Then after that, once they confirm, then we will go to the execution phase. We will go to the execution phase. Sorry, we will go to the execution phase here. Right. So when they can, yeah. Sorry,
I
someone
have a
asked.
question. Yeah. So go, if you don't mind going back to your diagram.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So when you say lock development work, is that equivalent to locking all the user IDs, or is there a
not the user IDs. Only the development changes. Changes will be locked. Not that now we are not locking the any users here. Why? Because
okay.
so users can.
Yeah, so because no one would do any development in production, so
Yeah,
getting confused.
production not a problem actually. Production quality
Okay,
remaining systems not a problem. So
but
when you are planning in the development system, suppose in the development we will plan in the normal business hours and everything, right? During the weekdays, normal business operations we will plan it. So when you are planning the changes in the development, so that time, so we need to so definitely the development workbench will be locked here.
okay.
Maybe few hours will be locked. Why? Because only workbench will be locked. Why? Because they cannot do any changes. They cannot implement any node. They cannot do any object changes. They cannot write any programs. Nothing will happen in the during the development system only.
So is there a transaction to lock the development workbench?
You no need to lock anything. Some tool will ask you. So in the
Okay.
when it comes to the pre-processing phase, some tool will ask you, do you want to lock the development system?
Okay.
Maybe let me show you here, which I did multiple upgrades. I have done it. Let me show you in my one of the system.
And will we also get similar formal notes?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
I will share these documents as well. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Because so same. I'm coming to this tab. Not like much simple this upgrade. So here,
Is it a radio button or something?
yeah. you will get the one option, lock the development, so that we have to lock it. Then only it will continue. We will get the one radio button here, one option. Yes, you can see here.
Yeah, lock. Yes.
You can see here. So development workbench. After locking the development workbench, no changes to the development are possible until end of the procedure. So this is the starting of the your page. Here, development environment has been locked now. There is no option. Don't log in nothing. Definite is the mandatory. You need to all just click on the next button. Otherwise, it won't go. There is no skip option, which means you cannot do any changes in the development workbench, development objects. Only development system. Development system, it is mandatory to log the development. So why? Because after the development is done, then you will record the whatever you have done the changes in the development system. Anyhow, you will record the changes into the SPDD SPA. We will record the changes into the transport request, so that we can simply import the transport request into the other systems. That time your developers are not required that time, and also there is no development activities in the quality and the production systems, right? So then you no need to worry about that activities in the other systems. Only in the landscape, the first system which you are doing, that system you need to carefully follow the rules. Rules means lock the development activity. Before locking, so we have to inform to our developers. So boss, we are going to do this locking the development. Are you okay? So they told that no, wait for one more hour, 2 more hours. We are doing some developments and everything, means we have to wait it. Otherwise, they are okay. Then just click on the next button. Then we can go ahead for that part. Once the development is locked, then you cannot go back and again unlock it. So safer side, before only we need to get the information from them. So why it is locking means, so the data, why? Because they are doing the repository changes and everything, right? The objects, the codes, everything is available here. The data will be copied from the original repository to shadow repository, so that while copying, one of the developer he logged into the system, then he done some program changes in the development workbench, but that program already was copied to the shadow repository. So that here you have the one version, here you have the different version. Then when the upgrade happens, so it will update the upgrade on the different version, so that there is some inconsistency. So that upgrade will be the inconsistency. Whatever he done the changes in the main repository, those changes will be gone. So data loss. Data loss means programs again he has to do the rework. To avoid this one, so he has to perform the changes in the shadow. So again, the data will be copied to the here. The sum tool will start upgrading into the your repository. Entire system will be upgraded. Then at last, SPDD adjustments we have to perform in the 000 client. Means that is what developer has to do. So then one phase in the execution, when it comes to the execution phase, then so at last execution phase, maybe I will take the green tick. Then so here data again, it will copy the data back to the your main system. The upgraded data will be copied to the your original repository. So why? Because while it is copying back to here, but if the person already done the changes, those changes will be gone. Then Jado repository will copy the data, upgraded data will be copied to the here. Then so the main system, the application tables will be converted. These two steps will happen in the those two steps will happen in the execution phase. Only the few steps will happen in the execution, but main work will happen in the pre-processing. But here, while doing this activity, while copying back to your main system, your system will be stopped. Your original system will be stopped here. Why? Because the data is copying back to the here. So that's the reason your system will be stopped. Means downtime activities here it will start it. So that here in the downtime activity, here we have to plan carefully. Why? Because so while doing the downtime activity, maybe when there is no business, maybe during the off business hours or weekends, we have to plan this activity, especially in the production systems. Non-production, we can plan it in the weekday itself, but in the non-production system, sorry, from the production system, carefully we have to plan. That's why the production activities we will plan in the weekends. Why? Because here during the execution phase, your original system will be stopped in the here. Your original system will be stopped in the your main system. Your original will be stopped here. So that data will be copied from the shadow and application tables will be converted to the latest versions. All these things will happen in the when your SAP is down, your everything will copied, and at the end of the execution means that is called the execution step. We will call it as the downtime step, downtime phase. One more naming convention for the execution is called the downtime. Why? Because downtime means your original will be stopped, data will be copied, whatever the changes are happened in the shadow, same data will be copied to the original. Then application tables, whatever the application tables are available, those application tables, everything will be converted to the upgraded version. Then finally shadow will be deleted. Then in the once the system is upgraded, then our original system is started. Then then here you need to perform the SPAU, the repository adjustments. Here you need to perform it. So here the small difference here. Shadow you need to perform the DD, and original you need to perform the SPAU. But SPDD definitely you need to perform before you go into the execution phase. But after the upgrade, you need to perform the SPAU adjustments, repository, then data dictionary objects. This is the repository objects. So here developers knows what he has to perform. They will go to this transaction codes, they will perform in the main system. But here after the upgrade, SPAU, here we have the 14 days time. 14 days time is available to perform the repository changes after the upgrade. So you can perform anytime, you can perform it, the SPAU changes. Then that is the execution is completed. Then post processing, during the post processing, the shadow will be deleted. Then our system is back to normal operations.
So 14 days is just the industry standard, or is there any
SAP standard? So you have the 14 days. Once the upgrade is done, if you want to perform the SPAU adjustments after the upgrade is done, from that day one onwards, you have the 14 days time. You can within the 14 days time you can perform the repository adjustments. But our developers immediately they will perform it. If they don't perform, whatever the new changes are happening, the customer changes. What are the customer changes are happening? Those customer changes will be lost. Customer changes will be lost.
When you say customer changes, meaning
suppose one developer, one object is there, one program, one program is there. The customer wants that program in this shape, not in this shape. Suppose he done some changes in that program. He want to some modification he done. These are the customer changes. So if you don't perform the SPAU, those changes will be lost. The other new upgraded program will come, those changes will be lost. So that's the reason he has to perform mandatory. So mandatory activities are SPDD, SPAU, he has to perform. So they won't perform, they will directly go to the SPAU. There is some transaction code, adjust, reset. Two buttons are there. They need to select adjust or reset, they will perform it. In the SPAU, if I go to the SPAU transaction code, I will show you. This is our ECC system. Okay, so DD, data dictionary. They will go to the here. Then here no objects, nothing is there. That's the reason nothing is there here. Maybe we will go to the SPAU, you will see anything. Still we have not performed, nothing is there here. Yeah, we need to create the protocol SPAU, something like that. So here they will get the list of nodes and objects, everything they will get it out here. So that they need to select, then they need to reactivate, or reset. They will get the option activate or reset. They will get the option, so that they have to perform all these things and everything they have to perform. So they know, they are the developer, right? They knows all these things so that they can perform these things and everything here. So if you have the object is there, it will come here, then they will select it. Maybe they will perform like either the activate or something like reset to the previous version. So reset to the original. So that object, that new object is required or not? So no, that is not required. Please reset to the original means they will reset to the original. Why? Because as part of the new program, as part of the upgrade, what will happen? New skins, new activities, new things will come. But that standard object we already changed it to the our own screen. We changed it that one. But if we already changed that one. So but when the SAP that new object comes, that will override on the customer changes. You want that one, that decision they can perform it. The developers can perform it, right? They have to do some other activities also. They will perform it, so that they are the decision makers on the during that phases. So they can do those things in the SPDD, SPAU phases. In the execution, which will happen.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Quick question. This is shadow. I mean, are there specific steps or transaction in order to create this shadow repository and shadow SAP system, or meaning you have to do system copy? We have to create a system copy.
No need to. You no need to do anything here. Shadow repository creation, shadow system creation, everything. Here we are using the sum tool. Sum tool will take care of all these activities. What you have to do? You need to just sit and watch the screen. What sum tool is doing, but everybody can watch it. But what exactly the sum tool is doing back end means that we need to know, right? So that's the reason. So sum tool will take care of all this shadow repository creation, data copy, locking, and everything. So sum tool will take care of. That's the reason sum tool giving the prompt like lock the development system. So lock the development system, data copy, all these things. Sum tool will take care of that one. All these things sum tool will take care of. So see, end of the pre-processing. So take the backup. Then once the backup is completed, so continue with the roadmap steps execution. Then during the execution, so your kernel will be switched. So system will be stopped here. See here, start SAP. System will be stopped here. Then so then DB cleanup. So see here, start SAP. So all these activities will happen. All this downtime is finished. System has been unlocked. System is available for the posting days. So then last you will get the like, see here. So SPAU. If you don't make your adjustments, you asked me question, right? So post processing. If you that here the upgrade is done. Here in the execution upgrade is done. When it going to the post processing, it will ask to, if you don't make the adjustments, SPAU, your modifications will be lost. Even if you don't want to keep your modification, use the SPAU transaction to reset these objects to the SAP originals. So all these SPAU activities can be performed. You don't need to key, but it's a period of 14 days. After that, so after you entering into this phase, so from this time, sorry guys, something is happened today. Okay, so you have 14 days time. You can see here all SPAU activities can be performed 14 days time here, so that you can perform it. So here there are 221 development objects imported by this procedure. So here successfully you have finished. That is the thing. Then cleanup will happen. Shadow, everything will be deleted. The last we will get the like your SAP upgrade is successfully completed. Like that we will get the phrase. Then we can verify our upgrades and everything. We can verify it. So that will happen in that time here. Whatever we discussed, the post processing, the cleanup will happen. That we know. So whatever the delete, whatever the new things, shadow repository, shadow instance, that will be deleted. Why? Because the upgraded shadow system is copied. The upgraded data is copied to your main system, right? Then once the copy data is copied to here, then we no need shadow system. The sum tool automatically will delete everything. Sum tool will perform it, but we need to just click on the next button. We need to fix the issues. If any errors, we need to help to the sum tool to continue procedure. That is what will happen. So sum tool will take care of what we have to do. Means we need to We need, if any issues, we have to take care. We have to fix the issues. Each and every step, some tool will ask you to perform the next. Click on the next button. Click on the next button. That we have to perform it.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So any questions from anyone? So here, whatever we discussed, shadow repository, SPDD, SPAU, original repository, so few people they need. So how the interview point of time they may ask you. So this is the important questions they may ask you. So here, pre-processing execution steps are the very important steps here. Anyone, any questions here? It's time to ask your questions now in this phase itself. Why? Because with this we will complete the upgrade. Then maybe Monday onwards we'll start the HANA DB administration. So backend we can progress the, you have the Saturday Sunday time, so we can progress this upgrade, we can complete it. So nothing will happen. Why? Because we have the small system that will be completed soon. That will not take problem. But here now you know what will happen in the execution, pre-processing phase, in the post-processing, SPDD, SPAU, all these steps. So you should be aware of all these things.
So then once all this adjustment is done in development box, the only thing that will go to the quality is the transports, correct?
Yeah, yes,
That's
right.
it.
Transfer. Now you
We
got
don't
it.
have to do
Yes,
all this
yes,
again.
yes. Why? Because during the step itself, we have the one step actually. So I think yesterday I have seen to this, I showed to these guys like so transports. One in the configuration phase, we have the step. So I think that step is missed here. Yeah, we have the step like please provide the transport request number, SPDD, SPAU transports and everything. That things we have provided and we have clicked the next button. Yes, here I think yes. So here request transport change request, and we have to provide the SPDD, SPAU. See here SPDD request, SPAU request. We have to provide it. The first system we can leave it empty, but second system you need to provide the transport request. Why? Because the first system you have already, they are developers, they have already done, then they record the changes into the transport request, they will provide the transport request to you. Then you can provide that, you can import to the, if you put the in the some tool will take care of all this work. You no need to do, even import also you need to perform. Some tool will perform the all the modifications and adjustments in the system. That is the advantage of the some tool. Okay. So any questions?